Okay. All right. I guess that works.
Awesome.
All right. Well, awesome. Thanks for having me, Dylan. Appreciate it. And great to, well, not see everyone, but great to connect with everyone who is here. So I can get started. Go ahead and share my screen if you want to just jump right in.
Let's go for it.
All right. I'm very grateful to be here. I got some stuff to share, but don't want to make this too formal, right? Like jump in the Q&A with any questions. I guess Dylan can moderate those, or we can just kind of save them to the end, whatever. We're all here to help one another level up. So let's pay attention. Let's have some fun and let's learn some stuff. All right. So going into present mode.
Look
Remember
at
this
those
pic?
guys.
Hey, now, pulling from the archives. That was man, that was down in Plano, I guess last year, 2021, maybe. I forget.
It was raining hard that day, man.
Was it? Yeah, it was a good day to have a workshop because you guys couldn't be out on roofs that day. So yeah, good to be here. We're going to talk about leveraging social media to own your market. Some of you have seen my content before. I use this other phrase called 5 mile famous a lot, whether it's 5 miles or 10 miles or 1 mile. Like one of the concepts I'd love for you to remember is that you want to focus on as a local company, as a local roofing company, to get everyone in that 5 mile radius to know who you are or to know who your company is. If you're an owner, it's getting people to know who your company is. If you're a sales rep, get everyone to know who you are. If you're an owner, also, you want to work with your team to help your sales reps build their own pipeline, build their own mini brands, and have them become 5 mile famous. And so it's a really powerful thing that I'm going to talk about today. So I would love to get some engagement going right off the bat here. All right. If you could share, what is your biggest challenge with content creation and marketing, whether it's around videos, just like knowing what to post, maybe running ads, doing the marketing, reaching your ideal clients, ideal prospects, whatever that is. You just want to drop that in the chat. We don't have to answer those right now, but we can kind of save those, for the end. I might actually cover some of those during my presentation here. So just drop that in the chat. Let us know what's going on, where you're stuck. Be vulnerable. Hey, I'm scared to get on video. I don't know what to say. I'm ugly, like whatever it is. I don't speak English very well. Those are all things that can be overcome. All right. So if you want these slides, Dylan could probably share them out to the group, but you just go to the short link as well, bit.ly GPO-CD. You can just view these slides and have these. I'm going to share a lot of content examples with you guys. So it might be good to grab the slides so you can reference those down the road, maybe share those with your team when it comes time to go create content, or maybe you guys have a meeting with your team at some point and you're like, hey, I watched this awesome webinar. This guy, Joe, shared some, somewhat intelligent things about marketing, and I want to share these examples with you. And that'll help to kind of get the buy-in from your team when it comes time to producing content, because, as an owner, you shouldn't try to shoulder this all yourself. Trust me, I've been there and done that. It's a lot of weight. You've got to get your team to help out with this stuff. It is a team effort. All right. So you can grab those slides if you want. This is mostly 97% about you guys, but it is important to understand where you're getting this information, right? There's a lot of nonsense out there. There's a million Facebook groups. There's a lot of digital marketers and things like that. And it's really important to understand where you're getting information. Again, I appreciate the vote of confidence that Dylan and his team have placed in me to provide value to his group. Like, that's a big deal. Like, I take that seriously, right? Dylan's putting his reputation on the line by having someone like me in here to educate y'all. And I want to make sure that I'm delivering. So we've been doing this for almost 9.5 years. I grew up in my family's commercial construction business here in New Jersey and up in New York City. I live here in New Jersey with my family right now down by the beach. And I grew up in that construction business as a 6th-generation family member. The company, Hughes Marine Firms, is currently 128 years old. So they're doing a few things right. Very conservatively run company, very well-run company. And I left that business I left on good terms in 2012 because I just had that entrepreneurial itch, right? As much as I was a family member in that business, I just want to create something on my own. And for you owners out there, you'll completely get that, right? It's like, I don't know what my plan is, but I know that I got one life to live and I'm going to create something of my own. So that's what I did. Had the construction background, had the marketing passion, had a business degree from college for whatever that's worth. Not much really until you get out in the real world and start doing business. But started Contractor Dynamics in 2013, and we are a marketing training company. So what that means is we train roofing and contracting companies, mostly roofing, on how to do their own marketing, right? How to build out a marketing machine inside their business so that they can take control over their brand. They can generate their own appointments and customers, run their own ads, do their own follow-up, nurture and things like that, and really have control over their growth. The reason that we are a training company, and this is really relevant to anyone listening, is for the first 7 years, we ran a full service agency. So, building websites, running ads, doing SEO, all the things that everyone has wasted so much money on in the past, including myself. We did all those things for clients for 7 years. In 2019, we made the transition away from what we call done for you services into training, because what we saw was, back in the day, 2015, 16, 17, even like in big markets like Dallas, like we could run Facebook ads for our clients, that were generic stock photo, pretty lame ads that worked, right? Because there wasn't that much competition. There weren't that many roofing companies. There weren't that many companies on social media. And it was actually really easy. I wish I doubled down on it back then, but then 2017, 2018, 2019, there's more companies on social media, more roofing companies, the whole thing. And the bar is raised every year. So it got to the point where it's no longer enough to like say, hey, I can run some ads for a roofing company with some generic content. Like, in order to succeed, you need to like be producing your own content and videos and sharing your brand and sharing your story and sharing video testimonials and things like that, as you guys all know. So that's what we do. And that's why it's so important for every company, for all you guys to have at least some of that marketing done in-house. So that, obviously that brand, that content's coming from you, but also if you're working with outsourced marketing companies, how to work with them, how to hold them accountable, how to collaborate with them, right? How to track and measure results so you can improve over time. I can't tell you how many times I've heard like, oh yeah, man, we've been spending, $2,000, $5,000, $10,000 on marketing every month. I don't know really what we get from it. I think it's working. I'm not really sure. Right. And that's, that's very common. So at the very least, having the basic understanding so that you can then go hire someone and help you dominate is really key. So that's a little bit about us, our team of 9. We're currently adding 3 people to our team this quarter. That's one of our rocks. And we love what we do. Dylan mentioned core values, something I'll touch on pretty quickly here. Our purpose is to equip people and companies with the tools to transform and grow. That's exactly what I'm doing here today. Our core values, our 5 core values are: we help our clients and one another win. We are trusted advisors. So I'm going to give you guys the best possible information, knowledge, tips, ideas that I can today. Whether that means working with us or not, right? I want to get, put your interest ahead of my own. Continual learning and improvement. Well, we're all in this group for that reason, right? Impeccable with our word. That means that's from that book, The 4 Agreements. And to us, that means following up, following through, doing what we say we're going to do when we say we're going to do it. Are we 100% with that? Absolutely not, but it's something that we strive for. And extreme ownership, from Jocko Willink's book. It might not be my fault, but it's my responsibility. We're not going to pass blame. We're going to take ownership over everything that we can. So we're all about value alignment. And that's why I'm here with Dylan today. Throughout this, you guys want to connect with me. I'm putting out content, as Dylan mentioned, every day. Educational content, maybe like 1 sales pitch a month, but every day it's just educational value content, personal development, business stuff. Connect with me on any of these platforms that you want, and follow. If you want to share any of this, take a screenshot of this, do a little picture of the screen right now and share it out today. I would appreciate that, so we can reach more people, connect with more people. But we got a podcast and group and all that sort of stuff, as I know a lot of you we're already connected anyway. All right, so enough about me. Let's get into this. We're going to go through a few things today. I'd like to start a little bit broad and go talk about marketing strategy. Then we get into content strategy. Then we'll share a lot of the content examples, and then I'll finish up with some action steps, right? I don't want this to be a rah-rah session where you're like, all right, I showed up, I spent an hour on this, I feel good, I feel accomplished, I feel productive. nothing happens unless we actually go out and implement. So I'm going to give you some action steps. Good so far? Tracking? All right. So what are we talking about? Marketing strategy here. What do we want to do? I'm going to take a guess that most of us want to differentiate, right? A lot of us are in crowded markets, whether it's Dallas or even here where I am at the Jersey Shore in a smaller market, there's still a lot of competition, right? And we're not just competing with other roofing companies. We're competing with everything else that's competing with our prospects' eyeballs and their attention, right? We're scrolling through social media a mile a minute. We're not just competing with other contractors. Like there's so much noise out there. We need to stand out. We need to communicate our value, right? The last place we want to be seen is as just another roofing contractor, right? Oh, he's just another roofer in Dallas or Jacksonville, Florida, or whatever, right? We want to stand out as different. We want to stand out as a trusted advisor so that we can command the prices that we want, right? Are we never going to get price shop? No, that's not realistic, but we want to communicate the value up front so that we get less price resistance, right? So that we can command the prices that we want more. We can close a higher percentage deals. We can make more profit. We can reinvest back into our business. We can retain team members more longer because, we're actually sending them out on good appointments. They're making more money. They're happy. They're working with better clients, and we can make an impact, right? It all comes down to me for impact. Whether it's impacting our team, whether it's impacting our community, helping homeowners, helping property owners, whatever that means for us, whatever impact we're making. I know a lot of people have a charitable cause or some kind of, community involvement that's tied to their business. That's really awesome as well, right? So whatever it is for you, not content and marketing is not going to solve every problem in a business, right? But it's going to make a big difference and it'll help us make a bigger impact. If no one knows about us, we're not able to help that many people. So, sometimes I even think of marketing, I'm putting myself out there and I think it's like people might look at me and say, well, he likes to talk about himself or show pictures of, his stuff a lot. And so I have that internal resistance, which I think we all have. But if you can tie your content, your marketing into like a bigger why, it's going to help you get out of your own way because you realize that you have an obligation, you have responsibility to go out there and to help as many people as possible. So the more that, just one more sentence on the why, because it's so important. Like I know it's trite, you hear it all the time, start with why. You got to understand your why. The reason that's important in my experience is that, this stuff is not easy. I'm not going to say you can push a button and, magically improve your marketing and your content, right? It's not easy. It takes time. There are a lot of days when you don't feel like doing it, but you do it anyway. And that why is going to drive you through those tough times, right? Not even tough times. It's going to drive you through those times you're just so busy or you're tired or you're traveling or whatever, and you don't feel like doing it. You got to remember why you're doing it. It's going to drive you to be able to do it regardless of your motivation at that point. So consumer behavior, we want more control. I mean, probably no surprise to you guys, right? Like the way that we buy things, the way that we buy is the way our customers buy. Think about the last time that you saw a piece of content, one single piece of content on social media, an ad perhaps, or a piece of content. You inquired with that company, whether it's a product or service, you entered your information and you bought that product or service just from seeing one ad. Like that's probably never happened, right? And a lot of times what we see is like roofing companies put out these, crappy ads, and then they wonder why, people don't respond to them. Well, like your market buys exactly how you buy, right? We do all this research online. 70% of the buying decision is made online before someone contacts a company for the first time, right? Looking at websites, looking at reviews, looking at Facebook groups, looking at Google reviews, looking at, video testimonials and things like that. Like we're doing all this research because we want to take control of that buying process. And we want to try to, make that as short and as painless as possible, right? So consumers have their buying process. We want to make sure that when they're out there doing their research, wouldn't it be awesome if they're finding our content? They're finding the answers that we're providing to them out there in front so that they contact us. They see us as a trusted advisor. Like, I like you guys. I trust you guys. I want you guys to give me an estimate or inspection or to do my job, right? So that's where we want to get to. The mindset here, using my buddy Sean as a model here, you can't have a low quality brand and use one or two tools and expect great results, right? You can't do nothing and then try to run some half-assed Facebook ads and then wonder why you're not getting great results, right? everything's got to be dialed in. And I hate to say it because it does require a little bit of work, right? I'm not the guy that's going to sit here and tell you you can run this magic funnel and fill up your pipeline. Like, it just does not work that way, right? You've got to have that like everyday content out there. Then you run ads. It's kind of like the fuel on the fire, right? You've got to be providing a great service. You've got to have good reviews, right? All those things tie in together because, again, people aren't dumb. People are, well, some people are, but most people are doing their research, right? They're checking you out, like whether you realize it or not. Even people that are referred to you by their friend or their neighbor, or whatever, like they're going online and they're doing their research and they're checking you out. Okay. Another thing as far as mindset, I want you to remember is that marketing and sales are both part of the revenue department. Okay. Marketing is not like this weird guy that sits in the corner and runs some like random ads, right? Marketing is about talking with your sales team, hearing about the hesitations and objections that they're getting at the door, at the kitchen table, and then incorporating that content into your marketing. I'm going to show you plenty of examples to kind of, reinforce that concept. But like your marketing, you might not have an internal marketing person, in-house marketing person. That might be you. It might be one of the hats that you're wearing. It might be a spouse. It might be an admin person. You might have a full-time marketing person. That person should be talking with your sales team in that weekly sales meeting. Hey guys, what are the objections you're hearing? What are the hesitations? Why do people choose to go with us? Incorporate that into your content, right? The closer you can tie those things together, the better. I can tell you in our weekly sales meetings on Monday, right now I wear both the sales manager and the marketing manager hat. So, I talk to our guys, Dan and Alex, and like, hey guys, like, what objections are you hearing? Like, why aren't people buying? Why did this guy decide to enroll in our program? Right. And I'm taking that content from Monday's meetings and I'm incorporating that into our marketing, into our marketing, right? I want to try to address those objections ahead of time so that we can uncover those, so that when we do have those appointments, some of those things are already out of the way and we don't have to work through those in the appointments. And it's really about focusing on executing the fundamentals consistently. Okay. There's a lot of marketing people out there that are promising you, that 3-step funnel, that magic lead generation source. Like, it doesn't exist. I haven't found it. If you find it, let me know. All right. It's about executing the fundamentals consistently. You don't have to be fancy. This is the roofing industry. All right. Most people don't know what they're doing with marketing. Most marketing is horrible. So just by really showing up and doing the basics consistently, you will win. And I'm going to share some of those with you today. Attention. I'm a big Gary Vee fan. He talks about, going where the attention is, right? If you don't know Gary Vee, just look him up on Instagram or TikTok or, any of these channels. The average American adult spends over 4 hours a day on their smartphone. You guys might be laughing at that and think that's, those are rookie numbers, right? But that's the average American adult. And over 2 hours of that is on social media, right? So I'm not saying you have to be on social media. There are big giant companies that are in the, top 100 list that don't do any marketing. I know a few of them personally. We built websites for them in the past. They don't do much marketing. They might do $100 million a year. They have amazing door knocking programs. They have armies of guys that are out there knocking doors. I think we know who some of those companies are. So I'm never going to be the guy that's talking in absolutes saying you have to be on social media. What I am saying is that's where your market's attention is. And it is a way to really cut through the noise relatively quickly, add a lot of value and add a lot of dollars to your top and bottom line. All right. So that's where we want to be. So getting into a content strategy. What we want to do is, if there are things that are already working for you, one of the things you can do with social media and especially ads is you can amplify that. I had a marketing strategy call, also known as a sales call, with a roofing company owner in Wisconsin today, just earlier today. And he's, on there out on the roof doing his selfie videos as a smaller company, and it's working well. So I said to him, well, that's working great. How can we get some of your sales guys to do those videos too? Because he wants to, kind of bring some of those guys forward so he can, not have to be the face of the business. So how can we have some of those other guys doing those videos? How can we maybe turn some of those videos, maybe improve upon them a little bit and then run those as ads? So you don't have to create a video every day. Maybe you're creating a video every week and then you're reaching tens of thousands of people, not just the people that follow you on Facebook, right? So don't stop what's working. We can amplify what's working. More collaboration between the sales and marketing teams as far as, the whole company. That's going to be key. Even, you know, in your production teams or your fulfillment teams or whatever you want to call it, like the people that are actually building the projects and serving your clients, get them involved, right? In video testimonials and getting reviews. All those things are part of marketing. I mentioned content from sales teams, reviews, client testimonials. You don't need a ton of client video testimonials. If you have like 2, you can use those over and over and over again, especially if you're running ads. We do that where we'll get, you know, a bunch of video testimonials when we go to like, you know, RoofCon or one of the big events, and we'll run those as ads for an entire year, right? Stay in front of our market consistently with those testimonials, always reaching new people. And then just continually level up, right? Getting 1% every day. So that's a little bit more on the mindset end of things before we dive into the actual content. My buddy Dave Owens here, visionary roof crafters down the Southeast US, and his wife Nikki. They run Roof Crafters. And actually, Dave was on my podcast about maybe a year ago, and he talked about this. He said, we don't have a sales department. We don't have a marketing department. We have a revenue department, right? Your marketing department is part of your revenue department. We all like money. It helps us to grow. It helps us to hire more people. It helps us to, you know, have more of an impact, better lifestyles, that sort of thing. So think of your marketing and sales department as a revenue department. I touched on this a little bit earlier. Part of our marketing strategy is going to be, you know, getting that feedback from the field. What objections do people have? What hesitations do people have? Why are people choosing us? What are some customer preferences and trends, right? These days it might be, hey, more people are opting for financing, or more people are asking about solar, or, you know, more people are educated about stone-coated steel. They're asking about that, you know, more people are educated about metal, whatever it might be, right? What are the trends? What are the preferences? We want to market to those, right? We want to, you know, want to hit on those things that people are basically with marketing. We want to tap into the conversations that are going on in our prospects' heads, right? So if they're thinking about financing or they're thinking about solar, well, we want to ramp up that content that we're putting out so we can, you know, kind of pique their interest. We'll get into some photos and video examples as well. Good marketing is a mix of both, right? Video is huge. Obviously, you know, we see that all day, every day on social media, but photo ads and content campaigns work really well as well. So we want to have a mix of those. One of the strategies, this is from Roof Crafters, from Dave and Nikki, that I shared just a minute ago. One of the, you know, the best strategies that we can do in any business, and we do this in our business as well, is to make a list of the common questions, that frequently asked questions that our market has. It might be our prospects, it might be our clients, it might be realtors, insurance agents, other business owners, family members are asking questions, right? Make a list of those questions, break those out, and do a 2 to 5 minute video answering each one of those questions. All right. Because people have those questions. And again, 70% of the buying decision is made already before someone reaches out to you. So where are people doing their research? They're on social media, they're on Google, they're on YouTube, right? So you can take those FAQs, you can break those down, you can put those on YouTube where they're going to be evergreen, right? Some of these videos you can see are, you know, years old. Some of them have, you know, a decent amount of views, hundreds of views, right? So YouTube is an evergreen platform. What that means is you can post a video today, and as long as it's relevant, you know, people are going to be searching for that and finding you and coming to your website from that content for, you know, for years, which is pretty powerful, especially if you learn how to optimize your videos for search and for local search as well. You're going to get a lot of mileage out of those. You can then also take these videos and you can use them during your sales process, right? You know, a prospect asks a question and you can say, hey, we have a video that answers that exact question. Or if, what's today, Wednesday, say you get an appointment, someone scheduled an appointment today for Saturday. How awesome would it be if between now and Saturday, you could drip out via text message and email some value content to that homeowner before that appointment, right? Hey, Mr. Homeowner, here are some of the common questions that we get from people like you at this stage in the process. I just want to educate you so you can make the best decision for you and your family and your home. We'll see you Saturday, right? Dripping out some value content. This type of content can be used and reused over and over again. So yes, it takes a little bit of thought, it takes a little bit of work. It doesn't really take much money. You can do it for free sitting in your office or truck or, on the job site, whatever it might be. It just takes a little bit of work up front, but this is an asset that you can have in your business that can generate, millions of dollars, literally. So one of the things that our clients do, and I'll get to some content examples right after this. One I guess pain point that a lot of people have is like, okay, Joe, I get this content thing. I got to be putting out more content, but I don't know what to do. Like, I don't know. I have all these ideas. I don't know how to like synthesize them into like something that actually makes sense. So one of the things that a lot of our clients do, and I'm sharing with you guys, is having themes for days of the week. So if you're going to post 7 days a week, which I would challenge you to do, to be able to stand out and reach people, you can have different themes, right? So a lot of our clients will do like Meet the Team Monday, where you're sharing like an individual profile of a team member or something about your company or whatever it might be. Tuesdays, you can do like Transformation Tuesday, before and after. So every Tuesday, you need a before and after. And this is going back to like the sales team's involvement, like in your sales meetings, and be like, hey guys, for Tuesday, I need a before and after. Who's got an awesome before and after that we can use on our social media? You can even incentivize some of your sales reps. So if you use their content on social media, maybe they get a little bonus, or, they get lunch or happy hour or whatever it might be, right? Incentivize them because they're not naturally going to be motivated to do it. Maybe every Wednesday is a customer review. Maybe every Thursday you're sharing an FAQ, a video, or just a, written Q&A or whatever that is. Maybe every Friday you can highlight another local business. That's a fantastic way to tap into other audiences. So if you're like, man, I only have like 500 followers on my Facebook page, like I really want to grow that. How do I do that? Like there's some things you can do naturally to do that. But if you can collaborate with other local businesses or other local leaders or realtors or whatever it might be, you can then tap into one another's audiences and tap into fresh audiences and grow your following. Okay. That's what Dylan and I are doing today, right? Part of what we're doing, right? We're kind of cross-pollinating audiences. Educational tip, right? That could be similar to FAQ, or it could just be an educational tip based on the season, right? Hey, this time of year, we're in midsummer, we're in Texas. If your attic isn't properly ventilated, then, these issues might occur, right? So, here's some education for you. And then, it should not always be about roofing because you're going to bore people, right? Just like in my content, I don't make it all about marketing every day because that's going to bore people. So we need to make it fun. Maybe it's some personal development stuff. Maybe it's like, recipes. Maybe it's like, interesting things that are going on in the community or something like that, right? Just things that people might pay attention to. So this is just one example of like a 7-day content calendar. If you were going to do this, it's going to help you to plan out that content, on a weekly basis or monthly basis. So then, all you got to do is plug and play. And then all of a sudden you've got consistent content going out there to your market. And that alone in and of itself, that free content, we're not even talking about ads, that can make a big difference, right? We want to be everywhere. We want to be omnipresent. We want people to see us over and over again. So that they can be in position to recommend us, refer us, mention us in a Facebook group or whatever it might be.
Joe, I got a quick question for you.
Yes, sir.
So if you're the owner of the roofing company, should this be you making the video or sharing the post or whatever all the time? Or should it be a sales guy or marketing person, or like, what's a good way to go about that? And then how real should you get? I mean, we know, like looking at social media posts, some people they use Facebook like as their personal journal. It's just way overboard. And then some people, roofing owners, I mean, nobody knows them at all.
Yeah, I mean, it's great question. And yeah, I mean, there's so much there. It's up to you. It really is up to you. You can design it however you want. My business is designed, well, it has been designed where I am the face of the business, right? We're starting to bring out, different team members of ours into our content, events, and things like that. So I tell my team all the time, I don't want this to be the Joe show anymore, right? So you think about it and be intentional about it. We have a lot of clients that, the owner is not the face of the business. Take this example right here. Young Construction in Northern Iowa. Dan and Tammy Young, husband and wife, are the owners, and they are rarely on the social media, right? It's people like Jamie, and they have a few other sales reps, and they have two marketing person in-house, Anna, who is, on social media. So you can design it however you want. And I think that's a hesitation for a lot of owners. They're like, yeah, I don't want to be the face of the business. Usually in every company, there's, one or two people that are comfortable being out there being the face of the business. Or, if you don't have anyone like that right now and you kind of want that person, well, the next person that you hire, make that a requirement. Like I'm hiring a business development rep this quarter to go out to like trade shows and things like that. And part of their requirement is that they're going to have to be active on social media, creating their own content and kind of like building their mini brand as an arm of Contractor Dynamics, or as a part of us. So that's up to you, right? As an owner, yeah, there are a lot of owners out there that put out a lot of drama. Like I think there's a lot of people like get caught up in the roofer drama and all that stuff. Like, you got to remember, like, the stuff you put out there on your face, on your feed, like, that's public. Like, your customers can see that stuff, right? So me personally, like, I put out a lot. I'm very intentional about what I put out there. I'd still keep up like a little bit of a wall. Like, I don't use it as my personal journal. Yeah, there are private groups that I'm a member of, like mastermind groups and business coaching and things like that I open up more, but that's a closed group with people that I trust. So it's up to you. Does
That's
that make
good stuff.
sense?
Yep. And just as a reminder, you guys can use the Q&A. If you have a question for Joe, don't hesitate to type it in while we're here live. Make sure you take advantage of that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, thanks for the question. So yeah, we want to cut through the noise, right? We want to get people to know who we are. That's basic. Like we talk about, you heard the phrase probably, know, like, and trust. Don't worry about like and trust just now. Just get people to know who the heck you are. That's enough. Provide value and education, show that you're real people. I talked to a roofing company owner in Florida yesterday, and they're probably been in business at least 10 years. They have a few locations, doing really well, smart owner. And one of the things that I mentioned to him is like, your social media feed's good, but it's missing people and it's missing videos, right? People do business with people. And that is the fastest way to cut through the noise and to build trust. Give people certainty. I say this all the time. I think I mentioned this on my Facebook post yesterday. Like, I'm here at the Jersey Shore. I live in Monmouth County. I don't need to hire the best roofing company in Central Jersey. Like I don't even know who that is, right? I mean, I know a few of our clients that are awesome that I will hire, but like, how do you judge the best, right? What I do want, and what your prospects want, they want certainty, right? I want to know that I'm going to hire someone that's going to, not make the process stressful. They're going to do what they say they're going to do. They're going to show up. They're not going to, add a bunch of stress to my already busy life. They're going to do a good job. I'm not going to have to chase them. They're not going to submit a million change orders on me. All those things that, like, everyone's had a bad experience with a contractor in the past, right? Like, everyone. And what people want is that certainty that I'm making a good decision. All right. And then the other thing is on the bottom here, farm your market. If you're door knocking, that's awesome. You can go out today, you can bang doors, and you can bag a buck. Like, that's awesome. That's a good formula, right? That's hunting for business. With marketing, it's more about farming, right? We're planting seeds every day that might not necessarily be, be sprouting or blossoming that day, right? But we're planting seeds every day, knowing that we're going to be able to harvest year round, right? So that's what marketing is all about. On that note, hunting and farming, in any given market, only about, I don't know, 3% of people are ready to like buy a roof today, like get a roof today or get the roof repaired today, right? So if you're door knocking, you're going out and trying to find those people in that little black sliver of the pie here, yes, that works, that can work really well. But there's a huge opportunity to get in front of everyone else in that blue section that might not be ready today, right? They might not have a need today, but when they do have a need in October or next year or in 2025, you want to be top of mind. Like, you want to be the company that people are going to reach out to and say, yeah, I've seen your content. I've seen you working with my neighbors. I see you around town. I see your trucks. I see the yard signs. Like, I see you sponsoring the local Little League. You want them to be, you want it to be top of mind when they're ready to make a decision. So there's a huge opportunity to get in front of all the people in the blue, not ignore the people in the black, of course. Of course, we want to, find those people, but get in front of those people in the blue so that when they do move to the black, then, they see you as a trusted advisor. Your audience is not just property owners, right? Your audience can also be past clients. Maybe you offer different services, and maybe you did a roof for someone 5 years ago. They don't know that you're now doing solar, or you do siding or windows or doors or gutters or whatever else it is that you do, right? Don't assume that they know that. So stay in front of them, market to them. Strategic partners. So that could be realtors, insurance agents, other contractors that, might not do what you do, that sort of thing, other business owners that, can be influential in the community, and really anyone that is in a position to recommend or refer, right? Anyone that's in a local mom Facebook group where someone's asking for a roofer recommendation, and, they may not have used you, but they might see your content and they might tag you anyway or mention you anyway. I know that, we've gotten business referred to us from people that have never been clients of ours that I don't even know, just because we put out a lot of content. I'm very grateful for that, right? Top of mind is tip of tongue, right? So when you're top of mind in your market, you're going to be tip of tongue when people are in a position to recommend. And people love to freaking recommend and refer. Like those Facebook groups, when someone posts like, hey, I need a plumber, I need a chiropractor, I need a roofer, like within 10 minutes, there's like dozens of comments, right? People just like, we get like a dopamine rush out of like recommending people. So that's where we want to be. Cool. All right. So content examples. I'm going to share a bunch here. Again, you have the slides. I ask you, don't copy word for word, but like use these as inspiration. Okay. We're going to have FAQs. We're going to have different types of roof issues. You can share your process, right? People want certainty. And when you demonstrate that you have a process, then people, that's more likely to build their trust, right? It's not this guy's first rodeo. They have a process for the way they're doing things, which lowers the risk for me when I'm hiring you. Okay. Show people how easy it is. You guys know how easy it is. You guys know you can replace a roof in a day. You guys know how easy like the solar process is, whatever it might be, right? But the homeowner who's not doing, not getting a new roof more than like 2 or 3 times in their life, to them, it's like this whole big process. Like, I don't know how it works. Like, it's going to take forever. It's going to be a mess. But you can show people how easy it is, either in graphic or written content or video content, which would be the best, to show people that you can do a video, do a roof in a day. We have a client, or we had a client a few years ago down in Atlanta. They had this awesome video of this client testimony, this lady who got on video, and she said, I left for work this morning and the crew was just showing up, and I got home from work and they were gone, and I had a beautiful new roof. And she's like, it looks amazing, right? So that was really powerful, right? Because it's like that, people can imagine that. Review graphics. You can take your reviews and put them into little graphics on social media. Share your core values, right? That's, people relate to that. People align with people who have similar values. Project stories, sharing stories about your projects. Don't just be like, hey, check out this baller new roof we just did. Like, no one really cares, right? But if you can tell a little bit of a story about why you did that roof, what situation the homeowner was in, why they reached out to you, that sort of thing. Again, I'll share examples of that. Video testimonials, education, went over that, community involvement, personal stuff, however personal you would like to get. Have some fun with it. Before and afters, team, share your team, and then document. All that means is like, hey, you're already out on job sites, you're already doing projects, you're already having meetings. A lot of times, all you got to do is take pictures of it, do some videos of it, and document what you're already doing, right? Every time I go to an event, I was just at an event in Orlando last week. I hired a local video guy for the day to take pictures and videos of everything that we were doing and whatnot. It cost me a couple grand, but like I have that content that I can use for, for months, right? So same thing, document what you're already doing. You don't have to go out to a video studio and create some, Hollywood style content. Just document what you're already doing. All right. So content examples. These are some of our friends, some of our clients, and whatnot. These guys, Eric, down in San Antonio, it's not complicated. If you follow him, check him out on social media, like almost every day. It's like, call me. That's his thing, right? It's over and over again. Call me. And he's not salesy about it. He's a friendly dude. Half the time he's showing pictures of he and the team, out eating lunch, tacos or whatever, right? But simple stuff that anyone can do. One of the things that he's got going on is a lot of branding. He's got the hat, he's got the shirt, he's got the trailer in the back, right? A lot of times people are tempted to take a picture and then slap their logo on it. And that kind of looks like an advertisement. It kind of looks cheesy. As much as possible, incorporate your branding into the actual photo, right? The thing here is that like they know they're a legit company, like they're super legit. But people that don't know them, they don't know that, right? So when they see hat, shirt, truck, trailer, yard sign, catch-all, Quipster, whatever, people are starting to be like, oh yeah, this is a legit company. It's not just a chuck in a truck, all right? Another thing, just, documenting what they're already doing, right? This is what they're doing. They're tagging SRS, and just kind of documenting the process. These guys down in Marco Island, Florida, just, again, sharing what they're doing. If you say, you're too busy, you're an owner, you're too busy, you got a lot going on, Derek's the owner and they have multiple locations. He's flying around pretty much every week and he still takes time to just document what they're doing. They recently opened up in Marco Island, Florida as their newest office where Derek and his family moved. And now he's become known as like the Facebook guy on Marco Island, which is a high-end area in Southwest Florida. So that's all you got to do. He's talking about the view here. One of the things he is talking about is what they're doing, right? What they can do, what their capabilities are. It doesn't have to be, something that's professionally written. It could be just bullet points like this. Another Texas guy, out there just talking about what they're doing, talking about, simple service repairs, things like that, right? Again, the branding just over and over again. You want to burn that into your audience's brain. A couple more examples, just, sharing what you're doing, renovating a house all week. This is a great one because, the pictures aren't amazing, but they are being very specific as to their, the town, Chickasaw Gardens, right? Anytime you can, kind of check in where you are and have that sense of location, right? That's going to let people know that you're local. They might even recognize the neighborhood and things like that. These guys down in Jackson, Mississippi and Alabama now, absolutely have an amazing brand, probably one of the best marketing brands that I've seen in the roofing industry. And so the owner Michael is nowhere to be seen here. So there's another example where we have Ryan, one of the sales reps, and we have Meredith and a couple other sales reps here. Again, the branding in the background. This one's a video, so they did add the logo on the phone and the website address and everything like that. But just showing what they're doing, call to action, having the phone number in there. A lot of people in their posts are like, get in touch, reach out, give people a specific call to action, right? If it's an ad, it might be like click that button below, or you can say text or call this number and we'll take care of you, right? Make it easy for people to contact you, for people to do business with you. Charlie out there in Pennsylvania, talking about, what they're doing. He's a big fan of just getting on the selfie videos and, not overthinking it, right? But they built a pretty cool brand, pretty cool company, growing pretty fast, partly because of the brand that they have and because they're so personable on video. Jim, a boy here in New Jersey, doing a church. And he talks a lot about his core values in his content and how grateful he is to work, with clients, especially with churches like this. Small company, and Jim's the owner and doing the videos himself. One thing on this, he does a lot of selfie videos. Ideally, you would have someone else like in your company and your team doing a video of you. That way you can, show more of your body language, because over 90% of communication is nonverbal. So the body language, the way you're moving around perhaps, and then you can show more of that project in the background. Just looks a little bit more professional. You're able to communicate more effectively. So, selfie is okay if that's all you have. If you don't have anyone and you want to do selfies, you can get like a selfie stick like this. This goes out to like 3 feet or so. So you can hold that out. You can place that on the chimney cap or on your truck, and you can actually set this up as a little tripod as well. So that's a great way to get some decent content. If you don't have anyone with you, if you don't have any friends, all right, something like this, just go on Amazon, selfie stick, tripod, $20-30. if you're an owner, it's an amazing little gift to get for your team, for your sales reps. Is this content value? Are these examples good? Let me know. Usually this is when you're like, okay, I can do this, I can do that. I can see myself doing something like that.
Joe, this is awesome stuff, man. We've got a question from Brooke. Do you want to save these to the end or do you want to read them live?
Go ahead. Give me a break.
It says, what is the best way to grow your organic reach on Facebook and Instagram? Our non-paid posts show little to no reach. Thanks for that question, Brooke. And you guys keep those coming while we've got Joe here live.
Yeah, I mean, there's no easy answer to that. Great question. It is being consistent. It is, checking into those local towns, tagging others in your posts if you can. Obviously, not every homeowner is going to be your best buddy that you're going to tag, but certainly if you're, you can tag your local supplier, you can tag, local manufacturer's rep, you can tag the realtor, insurance agent, maybe there's other trades like HVAC, they're working on a project with you. Do that. I'll show you a couple examples coming up here shortly where some of our clients are tagging, other local businesses that they're just kind of eating at or whatever. So that's a great way, tapping into one another's audiences. Another thing is actually engaging with other people's content in the local areas. So a lot of us, and I'm guilty of this too, I'm like, oh man, I want more engagement. But then I check myself. I'm like, well, I haven't really been engaging on other people's stuff. So how can I expect them to engage on my stuff? Right. So, go into those local businesses and give them, give them some love, don't just like it, but, drop some insightful comments on them on Instagram, on Facebook. If you can, add your 2 cents to, 10 or 20 posts a day. My goal is 10. So one of my to-do, I'll share my checklist at the end of this. But one of my to-dos every day is that I leave a meaningful comment on 10 posts. That's not very many, right? So, but I do that every day, and that does help. And that kind of works the algorithm too, because if you're always posting, and you're not, like, Facebook and Instagram know if you are not engaging with other people's content, like if you are, that's going to help your content show up more and get more reach. So those are a couple tips. And then, like, as a business, you can run contests, you can run giveaways and things like that. That gets a little bit more, not complex, but just, a little bit more thought that goes into those things. But that can help a lot. If you're giving away, like, football tickets or whatever tickets, one of our clients in Dallas has season tickets to the Texas Rangers, and they give away tickets to, they go to, give away tickets to all the games, right? Doesn't cost a ton. They're not like amazing seats, but, they're giving away tickets constantly. So that can help too. More from these guys. It doesn't need to be, complicated, but, the whole call me thing. Here's what we're doing. The 2 owners, Paul and Eric, up there. More from Texas family. Having fun, right? I didn't get my tacos today, but I got my homeowner a new roof paid for by insurance, right? Like Matt, people are going to relate to that. Like Matt's a real guy who likes tacos just like me, right? You don't have to be too formal. Matt's a sales rep. You don't have to be the owner, right? You don't have to be too polished about it. Just get in the habit of doing it consistently. Angelica here at Young Construction. I mentioned Young earlier. Again, not the owner. They had a big storm. This was a couple months ago. And she's, again, the local area in Eastbrook doing the video. Actually, it was a Facebook Live. She just went out there that day. These guys are in Texas as well. This is a good one because, what you're doing is, you're showing homeowners that what their roof could look like, right? So we can run these ads and all this content and say, hey, hailstorm came through your area, you probably have damage. Well, the homeowner's going out in their driveway, getting in their car, maybe glancing at the roof, especially if their house is more than 1 story, right? If it's 2 stories or higher, they can't see the roof. So they're like, well, it's fine. I don't have any roof leaks. I don't have any shingles laying on my front lawn. Like, I see this ad, but like my roof is fine. But this, you're showing people like, hey, you could actually have this on your roof and not be aware of it. So you should probably get your roof checked out, even if you think it's okay. That's a big one, showing people that they could have, hidden roof damage. You don't want to be like a fear monger, but you just want to be honest with them and say, hey, your roof might be okay. Or you might have these issues that might seem minor, but they're actually not, because they can, lead to bigger things down the road. Have some fun. these guys out in Pittsburgh, hey, have lunch, documenting what you're already doing. They're tagging their local GAF rep, right? That's a way to, tap in their audience. Maybe Nick's going to share it, maybe it doesn't, but it's going to show up in Nick's feed as well. And that's a way that, Franco as a sales rep can grow his personal brand and grow the company's brand. Another one in Texas. So Brent Tanner, he is a sales rep at Atlas Restoration in Texas, and he this is October, right? So he posted this, actually posted it to his personal page, personal profile. And one of his friends was like, oh man, I forgot you do roofs. Like I have actually had damage, ended up being a $60,000 roof. And I had dinner with him down in Dallas in April it was. And I was like, that's awesome. Like, have you done it since? He's like, no, I haven't done it since. Like, dude, like do it at least once a month. Like remind your friends, remind those people in your personal network that you're a roofer, that you can help them out, right? There's nothing worse than hearing that one of your friends, like, hired a roofer and it wasn't you because they forgot that you did roofing or they don't know that you do roofing, right? So I gotta remind myself to get on Brent to do more of this. All right, Luan, my boy, Deck Bros in Omaha. This is his first full year. This is back about a month ago. He sold 156 grand in one day. And he's on pace to do I think about 4 million this year, his first full year in business. And first, full year really in contracting at all. And really all he does is he gets on, gets on Instagram, gets on TikTok, gets on Facebook and just shares these selfie videos. They're very basic. They're nothing crazy. He doesn't spend money on ads. And that's all he's doing, just getting some of his clients in there. He'll do, video testimonials and things like that. But, just this basic, everyday stuff. It's really not that fancy at all. So that's just another example. Michelle, so this is commercial focused. They're down in South Carolina. They started a commercial division a couple of years ago, and they wanted to intentionally let their market know that, hey, now they're doing commercial as well. So they have a videographer on their team actually. So just getting some pictures of them on a roof. They did slap their logo on it because they didn't have any, branding in the background on top of this roof. But, that's all it is. Very simple. But give me a call, very clear call to action. Michelle's also sharing some of her kind of personal content, which is fine. That's what she wants to do to connect with other, local business owners and other people like that. So she's sharing some of that sort of stuff too, not necessarily about roofing, although she is on that same roof. And like, if you're doing B2B, if you're doing commercial, it is more about relationships than like, than residential, right? So you want to attract those people that are like, all right, looks like she's fit, she does 75 hard, that sort of thing. I mean, I know that because I'm friends with her, but she's, I like the values that she's all about. I'm looking to better my teammates and we want to raise the bar. I like what she's all about, that abundance mindset, right? I relate to her. I want to, reach out to her and I want to work with her, build a relationship with her, right? So for commercial, it's a lot more about, building those relationships. Drew down here in Tennessee, simple stuff, getting pictures of clients, pictures of signs, whatever it might be. But what he's doing is he's talking about Susan, and obviously this is not going to be, every client, not every client's gonna be willing to get on video or picture or whatever, but you're talking about the fact that we're doing her brother's roof today too, right? So that just implies that, hey, we did such a great job for her that she referred us to her brother. We are your trusted local roofing company. Follow him on Facebook and Instagram. Really good, marketing roofer. Rainy day, right? We have a lot of clients who are like, I haven't gotten videos done. It's been raining. The weather's been so bad, whatever. Like you can, you might not have a showroom or a shop or whatever, but, probably all have samples and you can, just get on there and talk about the different products that you have and, what homeowners are really liking this color, this year, really popular color. It looks great, whatever it might be. And then you're getting people that are asking like, what color is the shingle? So you're getting some engagement from that. And then one of the things, Brooke, you asked about that, like he's hashtagging these local areas around Memphis. So, trying to get a little bit more mileage out of that content. So you don't really want to tag roofing or roofing contractor because that's not something that like homeowners in a local area are going to be following, but they might be following these local hashtags. So that's what we want to do, is like that local stuff. Big Fish Contracting out in Pittsburgh, and then Blue Nail here in New Jersey, before and afters. Get in the habit of doing before and afters, but try to post the ones that are like a drastic difference. I know, especially with storm restoration, you're sometimes replacing a roof that's like less than 10 years old, and the before and after, they don't really look that different. Like they might look different to you as a roofer, but to an average homeowner, they don't look very different. So you want to try to choose pictures that are drastically different, like this and this over here. And then both these guys have a little bit of branding in their content as well, which is cool. I mentioned like including your brand in like the background of your pictures. These guys are here in New Jersey. They don't have to say we are an established company, right? I can look at this picture and like subconsciously be like, oh, these guys are legit, right? Because they have, whatever it might be, tens of thousands of dollars of equipment in this one picture. It looks very professional. They're actually not a very big company, but they look like and they are very established. They are very professional. And they're showing that, right? Because again, people don't know if Premier is legit or they're chucking a truck, but you see something like this, and you're like, oh, that's legit. Like I can trust them. Blue Nail again, sharing the branding, sharing the GAF and the ABC brands as well, adding a little bit of credibility there. Noble Roofing, tagging. So this is another way to kind of grow your following, tagging some of your team members, your sales reps, because maybe they can share that content out, or maybe at least this content's going to show up in their feeds as well. So you're going to get more mileage out of your content by tagging other people. Watkins again, sharing the brand, anytime you can, there's sign, truck, Quipter, all wrapped, all branded, again, legit company. Same thing, Cox Roofing out in Indianapolis. They have these cool, banners they put up on their jobs, guy in front of a truck. It looks a little staged, but whatever, it's still branded. And then team stuff. These guys are just, documenting what they're doing. Bartlett's a big company out west. They recruit a lot of sales reps, a lot of locations, a lot of door knocking. So they're always recruiting. So they're showing off, they had a ski trip over the winter. Indie roof companies sharing their sales meeting. If you're recruiting, like, one of the things that's attractive is like, all right, they have meetings, they have a cool looking office, there's camaraderie there. Like I want that, that sort of thing. Like, you gotta market yourself to attract the like-minded people as well as like-minded customers. So local business shout out, I mentioned this a couple of times. A few examples of this. Kerrigan Roofing, tagging local bakery, DreamWorks. They do it every, I think, Thursday. They have a small business shout out. So they're tagging, they're focusing on doing that every single week, right? So they have their small business shout out hashtag. They're tagging this bin cleaners dude, and just sharing a little bit of about the community. These guys out in Colorado, small company, small town. They are tagging the local bakery, cookie shop, whatever it is. So those are ways that you can. Because one of the things here is like most local companies are horrible at marketing, right? So they see something like this and they're like, oh, that's a piece of marketing. I can share that, right? That's social. I did marketing. Check it off the list, So most companies think at it. So if you can do some of their marketing for them, they're more likely to share it. Educational stuff, educating people about stone-coated shingles. They're educating people about, hey, does the sun affect your roof? That sort of thing. If you're going to share a tip every week or so, those are just a couple ideas. You can probably spend 30 minutes. I know you can, not probably, coming up with a list of like 100 FAQs that people have. And there you go. You got a whole year or two worth of content. So sometimes people think that I need to be a big company in order to do good marketing. Byron Vic has since grown, but this is from over the winter, actually. Small company, like pretty much just Byron. Again, they've grown over the past few months, but he's at his desk. Again, he's got the branding in the background, the shirt and whatnot. And he just answers FAQ videos, and he's got a whole, he's big on LinkedIn. Not many roofers are, but he's gotten a big brand presence on LinkedIn. And now on TikTok as well, and YouTube as well, but like pretty much a solo operator, marketing like a bigger company, if you will. not pretending that he is, but just like, you don't have to be big in order to do good marketing. Customer reviews, I mentioned this before, you're all getting Google reviews, and it's awesome that they're on Google because people are going there and checking you out. But you can also take those and you can go on a tool like canva.com, canva.com. Actually, this presentation's on Canva right now, and you can create some graphics. You can mention the sales rep here. You can highlight different things. You can show the sales rep, whatever you want to do, include the social links at the bottom here. A couple more examples of that, just having a couple templates that you can kind of reuse over and over again. Really powerful stuff. Just gives you, another day of, social content. Couple more here, just documenting what you're doing. Like these guys are doing, they did the firehouse in town. So that's building a lot of trust, right? If you're doing a church or a firehouse, or this company that I talked to yesterday in Florida, they did like a big bakery, like a well-known bakery in town. Like absolutely leverage that as much as you can, because it's like, well, if the local firehouse trusted Blue Nail Roofing, like I can probably trust them to do my, my 30 square roof, my house, right? These guys, Indiana, again, just documenting what they're doing, nothing fancy. These aren't the owners, sales reps out there doing their thing. Any questions on content examples before I get into like kind of action steps and wrapping it up here?
Brooke just mentioned in the Q&A, thank you for all the great examples.
All right, cool. You're welcome. All right, so my challenge to you guys, all right, good examples are cool, but they're not gonna do anything for you unless you actually do them. So I would encourage everyone to commit to a plan. What are you willing to commit to? Is it, 3 days a week, 5 days a week, 7 days a week? Make a plan and stick to it. I would challenge, and we challenge all of our clients to do 7 days a week. So, if it's 3 or 5, whatever it is, just be consistent. Is it going to be on your personal profile or personal page or business page? That's up to you, right? If it's going to be on your business page, yes, at a bare minimum. If you're going to, share stuff on your personal profile as well, that's up to you. As far as how personal you want to get, you're going to get more traction much more quickly if it's on your personal profile. People do business with people, right? So that's just going to be a faster, more effective way to do it, but you don't have to do it that way if you don't want to. What channels should you be on? Just a couple of questions that people normally have. I would say pick a couple and just go deep on them, go all in. Don't try to be everywhere at once just because we don't have enough time. Like I'm a small business too. Like we try to be everywhere. It's really, really hard, right? So pick a channel or two and stick to it. For most, most roofing companies right now, that's going to be Facebook and Instagram, right? I know TikTok's getting bigger, and yeah, there are opportunities there for sure. But if you want to get started with this, I'd rather see you go deep on 1 or 2 than go really shallow on, a bunch and not get any traction. You're going to have to commit to this like daily posting. So Facebook and Instagram would be my recommendation. If you don't want to share on your personal profiles like that you use for family and friends and all that stuff, here are a couple examples. Like Meredith is a sales rep at the Alabama location of Watkins, and she established her business page, basically her personal page, right? So what this helps her do is she can post the content on her page, and then she can also run ads on this individual page as Meredith Perry. This is separate from her personal profile. It's also separate from the main Watkins construction page. So this is something where it's going to be very individual per company. You got to have some brand guidelines if you have sales reps out there posting on behalf of your company, right? Reach out to me. I can help you on that if you want, or send you a couple ideas on that. But basically like, hey, if you're going to be doing videos, no smoking, no alcohol, no cursing, make sure you're wearing, our brand, that sort of thing. Like just be thoughtful about that, because you don't want a bunch of people out there representing your brand that you've worked hard to build that are going to not represent that in the best possible way. Again, back to Eric. I know I used him a lot, but he's just a great example. Here's his Facebook cover photo. He's branding himself as the guy. All right. I love books. I know Dylan's always sharing books inside the group here. One of my favorites is The Compound Effect, and it's really about doing the fundamentals every day, and getting that compound effect, right? you're going to do this sort of content for 30 days. You probably won't see many results, right? But it's the compound effect of doing it over and over again for months, or even years, that, you're going to get that traction. And the effects that you're going to see are unbelievable. Like, I've been doing content for probably since 2018. I've been doing it daily for about 14 months now. And like, the opportunities that it opens up, are just incredible, right? Business wise, going to events, collaborating with other people, potential, the girl we're about to hire right now, she reached out to us and she's like, I love your values. I love your, the team, that you talk about winning all the time. You guys hiring it all. And we actually were, and we're about to hire her probably this week. So it's pretty cool what this stuff can open up. Another favorite book of mine is The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson, Olson. If you just Google or go to Amazon, type Slight Edge, there's a couple different books, but this one, Jeff Olson, very similar to The Compound Effect. This is probably my favorite book of all time. Basically, here's what it's all about. Like, you're going to be doing the work, not seeing the results. And then all of a sudden, you're going to start to see some results of having done that work, right? We've got to be comfortable doing the work and trusting the process and not seeing the results right away. This is how I live my life in business. This is how, with marketing, I've seen it over and over again with my own company, myself, our clients. You're going to have to do the work and just trust the process. Trust me, trust Dylan, whoever, trust in God, whatever it might be. Knowing that if you trust the process and you're doing it the right way, you're going to see the results. So I just want to encourage you, because I don't want you to try this and then give up after a week because you're not getting any results. So I mentioned a daily checklist. This is something that I follow every day, at least 5 days a week, not always 7 days a week. I don't really work weekends. But I make sure that I'm checking these boxes every day. 3 business development touches. So for me, we have 2 sales guys. I'm the sales manager. I do some biz dev myself, but I want to reach out to 3 prospects or 3, people, and to help them or whatever. Just 3 things that I'm doing to generate business. I want to reach out to 1 client, right? So I'm in touch with clients. We do have a client success team. But I want to randomly reach out to 1 client. Usually that's me sitting here, doing a little selfie video. I mean, hey, Dylan, I see you got some awesome results this week. So proud of you. So happy that you're doing the work, whatever. Just randomly reaching out to a client. 1 past client, right? Maybe it's you drive by a house or you drive by a commercial property that you did last year. Maybe it's just a text or an email being like, hey, I drove by your house. The roof looks great. Your flowers look great. Hope you're having a great summer. Talk to you soon. Whatever it is, right? You're not selling anything. You're just checking in. 1 strategic partner touch. So for me, this is like someone like Dylan or other service providers in the roofing industry. For you guys, it's like a realtor, an insurance agent, someone else from your networking group or whatever it might be. Just checking in, seeing how they're doing, sharing a piece of valuable content with them. Hey, I saw this and I thought of you. I thought I'd send this along, right? People don't do that because we're all so busy. We're also wrapped up in our own lives and businesses. So people really appreciate that stuff when you do it. 1 unexpected personal touch. That's really sounds kind of weird, right? Touch point. But just reaching out to someone in your network, like, hey, hope you're doing well. Just thinking about you, whatever it is. A lot of times for me, that's a selfie video. This is just, having an impact. It's not all about business, but having an impact. I put out at least 1 piece of content a day, and then whatever else you want to add to that checklist. So yeah, this is something that works for me. I have this as a checklist in my Evernote app. I don't really look at it anymore because I know it's just kind of automatic for me. But I know, I don't have control over whether a prospect signs a contract today, right? Or whether they decide they want to enroll and, run that credit card or whatever it is. I don't have control over that, but I do have control over this. I do have control over my inputs. So I know as long as I'm doing these things every day that, my life and my business, my impact is moving forward. So steal that if you want. And that's all I got. Those are my social channels if you want to connect. Again, share your content with me, tag me in your content. I would love to cheer you on, give you some feedback, and help you level up.
Man, that's so good. Thank you, Joe, for sharing all that valuable content. And like you mentioned, we'll have the recording of this that you guys can watch and you can screenshot. I mean, I highly recommend you reach out to Joe and connect with him because if you want to remove a limit in your current business or your knowledge, the best way to do that is to connect with somebody who's already doing that really well. And especially when they invite you to do so, like Joe did. Ryan asked a question, what's the name of the book? So Joe mentioned two. He mentioned the Compound Effect book, and he mentioned The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson. So I actually have not read the Compound Effect, so I'm going to check that out. And but guys, definitely reach out to Joe. And Joe, thank you so much for sharing all this great content, man.
You're welcome. Yeah, thanks for having me. I hope that was valuable. And don't try to implement everything, but if you can implement a couple nuggets here and there, just get started.
Yeah, that's a good piece of advice for those of you listening to this. You're thinking, okay, I just drank from the fire hose of a lot of great stuff. What's one thing you can start doing tomorrow? And the cool thing is Joe gave you some really practical steps to take on even a schedule for Monday through Friday, even a list of things that you could use that are really simple to make content. So the key is just to do it. And like he said, stay consistent. It's not to be the best roofer in the world at social media. All right, so Joe, we're going to sign off. We'll make the recording available for everybody soon, and we're actually going to be doing kind of a part 2 deeper dive, more of a how-to type workshop for the paid members of the Limitless GPO in the future with Joe. So if you want to learn more about that, reach out to me or just go to roofinggpo.com. If you guys want to learn more from Joe, like he said, it's not a done for you deal. He's going to teach you what you need to know to do this stuff in your company or to have somebody do it for you. You owe it to yourself to reach out to his team and learn more about their program, whether you invest in it immediately or not. You owe it to yourself to just take at least an hour out of your schedule over the next week and learn more about how they can help you grow your business. So anyways, with that said, we'll sign off. And Joe, I think since you're the host, you get to end the meeting.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, thank you so much. Yeah, I look forward to connecting with y'all. I appreciate the opportunity. And yeah, this was fun. So hopefully you guys got some value and go out and take action.
Awesome. Thanks, man.